Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your host E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
And hello, everybody out there in the Twitter sphere. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 79. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on the network by heading on over to BOF. Click the drop down, and you will see an utter buffet of fanboy podcasts that will entertain you. And some might say a good place for those to frolic about other nerdy subjects. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River. I'm a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I am Peter Ambera. Today we're recording on June 14th, 2022, and as always, I have a great show for you today. But I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, if you take the time to rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, you have just won a Straight Outta Gotham prize pack. We have this contest monthly. So there is a bottlenecking in the shipping thing. So if you want to complain about that, tweet at the president. So that's why monthly prizes have been delayed. So it's all Joe Biden's fault. Clearly, we all know that's the truth. It depends on, right? So now let me get into the good stuff here, which is, of course, let me introduce my co-host. The man who won the 1997 Oceanside Race versus Shark in the 80-meter breaststroke. A fellow Batman on Film contributor. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion of Long Island, the essence of man, Eric Holzman.
Hello there. Well, you know, as Aquaman, swimming things, I usually always win.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this was fish versus fish.
It was, and I always win. My powers, my superpowers. It's not like the deep in on The Voice. Not that kind of thing. No, I'm not. Okay. Not that dude. But yeah, you know, when you could talk to the shark too and kind of tell him what the deal.
Did you guys fix the race?
It was okay. I didn't fix it. I just told the shark. I was trash talking the shark.
Okay.
You know, and he was actually kind of mad. But hey. You know, I was in my younger years too. 1997, I was still in college.
Yeah, you were in your prime.
So I was in my prime. So it was a fun time.
You were down in Florida back then too, right?
No, not yet.
No, yeah, you were still back up here.
Yeah, I lived in.
Thinking because I must have came up for this race. It's a big race.
I swam
down Florida.
I swam
obviously. That was your training period.
2003 is when I moved to Florida. That was when I lived in that great state, which I won't talk about any further. There's a bunch of stories behind Florida. Maybe one day we will get into it. Just today is not that day. So how you been, man? What's been going on?
Nothing, just fun in the sun, just enjoying this beautiful weather we've been having.
Yeah, guys, Pete is on his smoking, barbecuing kick again. So we've been getting
you just call it that, I guess.
we've been getting pics of the stuff he's smoking or cooking, and I always love it because
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, rendered meat.
So last night I did a copycat recipe. I made the copycat Taco Bell quesadilla. I gave it a shot, and I made my own
Holzman-dia.
Yeah, I made my version of the Taco Bell quesadilla.
How'd it come out?
Came out pretty good. The key is that sauce that's in there. That's the key. And I mean, I cut corners a little bit with this one because I had like light mayonnaise. I didn't have the full fat mayonnaise, so that was probably a little different. And then they asked for sugar, but I didn't put sugar in it because I don't like adding sugar to sweeten things up that's supposed to be spicy. So, but it came out pretty good. It's if you ever do it, just like shred up some chicken and then make the sauce.
You gonna get a food truck next?
I'd love to. You know, it's crazy I say that because I know how dangerous they are. And it
just takes a while to earn profit.
Yep, and it takes a while. Yep. Yeah. It's kind of like having a ice cream.
You got to be in a good location.
Yep.
I can't imagine. I mean, when I worked in the city, I can't imagine. And I love halal meats. Like, street meat is like great. Like, I'm all for that. Like, that's lunch, baby. You know, I love some chicken and rice. But I don't know how those guys are in those just ovens in August. Like, I don't want to be cooking in one of those tins in August.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's still a great value, though, right? Like, you get, for like $7, you get this.
It's like $5. Chicken, rice, lettuce, tomato, hot sauce, white sauce.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel bad for people who don't live in an area where there's food trucks, because
anyone who doesn't live in a food truck is like, what is he talking about? What is this?
I know.
Like, what is this $5 meal? What is white sauce? Like, you know what white sauce?
Oh, guys, if you live in a major city, a major metropolitan area, you clearly know what we're talking about. But if you don't, you need to find out.
If you've never had a guy at a food truck ask you if you want hot sauce or white sauce, you've never eaten.
That's true. That's a very fair comment, because that is so true. And now they're even high tech. Like, you can.
And the answer is both.
Yep. And you can order from food trucks on like DoorDash and all the apps now.
When I worked in the city, there was this guy, and Poppy. That's what everybody called him. So that's what we called him. He worked in a loading dock. In the corner of a loading dock, he had a kitchen. He had a fridge. He had two like stove oven. You know, he had like a two spot. Mm-hmm. He had a little small oven, and he had a countertop. And we just called it the loading dock. And this guy made the best like rice and chicken dish. I don't know if he wasn't Puerto Rican. I want to say it was Dominican. It was like Dominican style food. So, I mean, and dude, his hot sauce was absolutely outrageous. And it was $5 for a plate. It was a styrofoam plate. You get 2 pieces of chicken, so it's usually you get like a leg and like a thigh, and then you get you get half a plate of rice and like a side of lettuce and tomato, and then he just doused it in hot sauce, and it was so good, fall right off the bone.
Those guys are. Anyone who owns a food truck, to me that is like the epitome of the American dream. You're your own boss. You're doing it on your own terms. That's what. To me, that's what this country's about. Things like that, where you're just, find an idea, put it into action.
That's why I'm writing books about Eric's life.
Yeah, the title's a little long.
I'm basically Sylvester Stallone, and you're Chuck Wepner.
Yeah, I am.
That's basically what it is. Like, I'm Sly, and you're Chuck.
Well, I want to, again, I'll
give you, so you can get like 5%. I mean, it is your life. It's just, I mean, I'm putting all the hard work into it.
It's not even authorized. I haven't authorized this book.
I have the contract, Eric. Here, so follow it.
I didn't sign it.
You signed it when you agreed to do this podcast.
No, I didn't.
This is why you read the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Eric surrendered his likeness and his life over to me. I am Avi Arad, and Eric is Marvel in the 90s.
That did not happen. As with many things that Pete tells you guys, this is totally a fabrication.
Eric, the only thing I don't own that belongs to Eric is Leia. Everything else, Eric.
Seriously, man, jeez, that dog. Man, I swear, she's funny now because, like I said, she's older. She can't hear so well. She can't see so well. But I swear she plays on that because there are certain times where she's like perfectly fine.
She's like, I got this idiot.
I swear she does. And then there's times she's like, what? And she's like halfway like walking sideways or kind of walks into the wall a little bit. I'm like, you're playing with me, aren't you? But yeah,
that's
tough.
dogs.
It's tough watching her. It's tough. It's tough watching her now. But, oh, Pete's getting a phone call, guys.
Yeah, it's Ryan Lauer. Excuse me, I'm doing a podcast, and I accepted. I'm doing a podcast. Goodbye, Lauer.
Yeah, tell Lauer to buzz off. Don't be calling when we're trying to do our own.
Fifth Tannen right there.
Well, what I wanted to say is not acceptable for the show, so so I didn't go there. But tell him to call back later. We don't want to hear his voice. This is our show.
Batman 638.
There we go. Pete's impersonation of Ryan Lauer.
It's like Mickey Mouse on speed.
Oh, that's going to be great. Can't wait for the discussion on that one.
You know what, Pete?
But all right, guys. So enough of our banter and our just life discussion. Yes, our antics and life discussion. Let's get into what you guys want to hear from us, and it's of course the hot topics. Every time I say that, I feel like Wendy Williams, but yeah, because that's what her.
You are far from Wendy Williams in all aspects.
But
there's nothing. You and Wendy Williams have nothing in common except location.
But let's continue. Let's begin actually with our rundown. So we're going to start with the trailers because I feel like those are the easiest things for us to talk about. So let's start first with the biggest trailer I want to say that we got. Probably one of the most highly anticipated DC movies in a while, I think, outside of The Flash. Flash.
Yeah, probably.
I'd say Black Adam is probably up there because, of course, who the star is in the role, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is just so magnetic and so charismatic. People just will go see something he's in just because he's in it. And we got that little teaser trailer. We got some footage, I remember, at Fandom. We got some stuff early. And some of the trailer that we do, some of the stuff we do see in the trailer is actually from that Fandom footage as well. It's the first time you see him, and he's in that whatever temple
chamber.
Yeah, and I don't know. This movie seems to be pretty ambitious, but we get a lot of the different characters in this trailer as well. So we get Dr. Fate, even though he's not in costume. We don't get Brosnan in costume.
We see him at some point. We see Dr. Fate's outfit, yeah. We
see the outfit. That's true. But we get a good shot of Hawkman. They have a little bit of a conversation. A little bit of Atom Smasher. So it was a good appetizer, right? I think it kind of ticked off all the boxes we wanted to see. And we get no reference to Shazam, and I'm sorry, there's no Superman. No Superman.
End credit scene, Eric. Jesus.
There's no Superman in this trailer. So we don't know what's going to go on there. But I dug it. I think it did what a trailer's supposed to do. What did you think?
I wasn't blown away, but at the same time, I think it's a very good trailer. It looks like a standard summer blockbuster action movie. Yeah, like some people are like, is it The Rock or is it Black Adam? It's like, it's The Rock, but that's what people want and love, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's great. I would have liked pointy ears on Black Adam, but not getting it, but whatever. That's like my only real gripe. It's so minor. Like everything else is just really interesting and cool. Atom Smasher looked cool. Out of the members of the JSA that are in this movie, Atom Smasher is probably the one I like the most, so I'm excited to see him. I know you're a big Fate guy. There's no Jay Garrick or Ted Grant in this, so like I'll have to wait for the next one. But Atom Smasher looked cool. I know a lot of people comparing his outfit to Deadpool's, which is interesting. But yeah, it's excited. It gives me vibes of like Black Panther a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like when I see like the city and like how they enter. If you look at that first like Black Panther, it's like the way they enter like Kahndaq is the same way they entered Wakanda with that like ship. But it's cool. I dig it, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know what the angle is of this movie. I think it's going to go back and forth linear. Like I don't think it's going to be like I think it'll be a non-linear timeline. I don't think it's I just have a feeling it's going to go back and forth between the past and present a lot. We'll see him without powers, and we'll see what happened to his family. Then we'll see him in the past, and I think we're going to see him in the present day. In the past, I mean, like we'll see like Black Adam's past as well, and then we'll see Black Adam present. So
right,
I think you'll get some Teth Adam, you'll get some Black Adam, and then you'll get some like modern day Black Adam, which was cool. That's a lot. It's a very ambitious thing to do, but I also think this would be like, when was the last time The Rock had a dud? I just don't think that's going to be this. There's a lot of cool people in this movie. There's a lot of cool characters. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a nice little popcorn movie.
Are you talking about movies for him like Skyscraper and San Andreas and
Like those didn't flop, right? Like they made a ton of money.
Oh, you mean box office wise? Yes.
Yeah, like he makes box office money. Like again, like critically acclaimed movies he may not make, but people go out and see his movies.
Yes, like Hobbs and Shaw, which is the Fast and the Furious vehicle, is totally ridiculous. Like all those movies, but it's a fun time, and that's what he does. Like he makes those kinds of films. So. I think
he was in Rampage, right? I enjoyed that one.
He was in Rampage.
You know,
I am very interested to see how this is received when we finally get the movie. It's going to be something that I'm going to pay a close eye on because he's in it, but I feel like he's trying to do something a little different. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's received by the fans, especially because he's not, I mean, Black Adam is not a super known character either, but he is. Like Dwayne Johnson obviously is. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. But guys, if you've seen the trailer, interact with us, let us know what you think, because we love having these conversations as well. All right. So the next one I want to talk about is Prey, which is the Predator vehicle.
Wow.
That one went a place from the teaser that we got. I wasn't expecting this trailer, I guess. The full trailer. The full trailer was so much more descriptive of what the show's going to actually be, I thought. And I don't know. It looks interesting. Again, it's always the problem with Predator for me is usually it's always the same setting. The one thing that I liked that I didn't like the recent movie that came out overall, but I did like what they attempted to do there. This one is a little bit more of the jungle kind of atmosphere that we got, and it's a little bit more of that kind of a thing. I mean, I'll check it out. We'll see. But this trailer didn't move the needle for me one way or another. I was going to probably check it out anyway.
It did for me. I'm really hyped on this, like really hyped. I got to find a way to get Hulu to actually watch this. I'm really pumped for this. It gives me vibes of Predator. It gives me vibes of Predators. I myself enjoyed The Predator up until basically the ending. I think the ending's really bad. The ending ruined the movie for me. I was really enjoying it until the ending. Yeah. And that's sad because I haven't revisited it since, and it's kind of a bummer. Yeah, and I was really liking it. And I like, what's his name? Lethal Weapon, Predator, Iron Man 3. What the hell is that guy's name? Director.
Oh,
Shane Black. Shane Black. Yeah, I like Shane Black. So, but I was into it. I like this. I think this fits what Predator is. I think this is the best Predator stuff is kind of like this jungle atmosphere. There's a lot of jungle out there, so we can keep doing this. It's not like there's just one jungle. I'm sure there's a lot of places in South America they can come up with for the Predator to terrorize. So I'm into it. I'm really excited. I think this looks great. I can't wait.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, it didn't move the needle for me. I was probably going to check it out anyway. I do have Hulu, but I don't know if I have the Hulu that I can see it without paying more money. Hulu's weird that way, and it bothers. Yeah, there's like tiers in it. Some stuff is free, and then some stuff's like exclusive that you have to pay for, so extra for. So I don't know. I guess I'll check it out when I get it.
Garrett's got Hulu. Garrett's got all this stuff.
I'm sure he does.
He does. So, he's very good. But Garrett's very good.
So yeah, but I mean, I don't know if Garrett would watch this one. He's probably making some kind of like celery stick souffle. He's also a little squeamish. He doesn't like things with.
Well, that's why he doesn't eat meat.
Cuts it.
He doesn't like the animal. Point. He doesn't like the animals getting hurt. And
that is a good point.
It's okay to eat celery because it doesn't have any feelings.
That we know of.
Look, I'm just, I'm looking forward to his cookbook.
Oh boy.
The Domestic Fanboy. 40 easy meals for your vegan superhero fanboy.
Oh boy. Can't wait for the feedback on this one. All right, moving right along. Let's go to the next trailer, which this one I really loved and I really dug, and I'm very, very much looking forward to this. It's Resident Evil on Netflix. We had a teaser, I want to say probably about a month ago. Now we got the full trailer, and this one is really, really, this kind of gives everything away, I think. I mean, if you know the property, you kind of know what's going to happen, but this one just kind of gives everything away in the trailer. It's everything you'd want, though. The story it's kind of small on story. They give you hints of what's going on, but they give you all the good action stuff, action sequences, the putting of the blood on the faces to kind of disguise themselves, and it was very, very cool. And again, this is a game I loved to play when it first came out. It was one of the games I remember really, really enjoying playing.
What's your favorite Resident Evil game?
Oh, I don't know.
Mine's Code Veronica. It may not be a popular choice, but I was a big Dreamcast guy, and that's my favorite.
I had one for... I forget which one it was. I'm
replaying 4 right now, which is fun.
I had a handheld version. I forget which game it was, but I really enjoyed that one.
Okay. I
don't remember which one it was. I mean, the original one is great because it starts the whole thing. So I got you. I'm big from anticipation and everything, like it. That one was awesome. The only thing with this show now is I feel like we're kind of at the end of the zombie.
Do you realize how long people have been saying that?
I know. So I don't know what this is going to do for the genre, I guess, of the zombie actual genre. But I mean, The Walking Dead is coming to an end, and
but it's also got 2 spinoffs.
Yep, that's true. That's a good point. That's fair. That is a fair point.
That's coming to an end, but it's like they already have one spinoff series, which is like 9 seasons deep.
Yeah, Fear the
And
Walking
now they're
Dead.
starting a new one, so they're not going anywhere. So. Zombies are here to stay.
Well, yeah, zombies will always be here. It seems like when something's ending, then World War Z comes out, right? And then, it's a different kind of zombie. Like, you get all these different versions. But what did you think of the trailer? What is your...
I liked it. I thought it was scary. I thought it looks more invested in the roots of Resident Evil than what they were doing with Mila Djokovic. So I'm excited to see that. I want to see what characters from the game pop up, in what way. I'm excited to see how much closer this is to the actual source material, which is the games. That's what's fascinating, but it looks good. It doesn't look like it's cheaply made. It looks like it's well done. Maybe this is something that is actually cheaply made and more along the lines for what Netflix is, kind of should be doing. I know they're purging, they're kind of doing a little Zaslav over there.
Yeah.
And, I believe their animation department is the one that suffered the most, but I know they're cutting costs. So, maybe this is better along the lines of their budget, as of right now. And it seems to work. Horror is usually pretty cheap for the most part, right? So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I want to see the monsters. I want to see the zombies. I want to see people die in a science fiction setting. So let's fingers crossed. I'm happy it's on Netflix because I was starting to question like why do I keep Netflix around? I was like, I know I have Seinfeld and I have we'll see what happens with the CW shows. That was my main reason. But if Netflix is serious and Resident Evil is good, maybe Seinfeld and Resident Evil are enough to keep me around.
So you're not a Stranger Things guy?
Oh, that's true. I've got to catch up on Stranger Things. Thank you so much. I forgot about that. Yes, big fan, but I'm a season behind.
I'm actually just beginning season 3, so I'm kind of...
I'm actually thinking about, when it comes to Stranger Things, I'm thinking about starting from episode 1 of season 1 and just kind of doing a long binge because, they drop everything all at once. So
I know. That's what I had to do because I wasn't watching the show.
Because I love seasons 1 and 2 so much.
Season 1 is fantastic. Yeah. It's so good.
The best thing about season 1 was it was like everyone kind of got hyped on it. Like I know a lot of people have kind of cooled off on it, but Stranger Things season 1 was it was an interesting thing. Like people were talking, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was. Especially, and again, my childhood is the time period they're going through, so it's very, very
old man
nostalgic for me to watch that show. So many of the references.
They got all your fights with Geraldo Rivera.
But all right, guys, Resident Evil, definitely go check out the trailer. Especially if you're a fan of the games. If you're a fan of the games, I'd like to hear the feedback of the people who played the games and are watching this trailer and see what you guys think. So let us know what you think.
I don't think Zeddy's a fan of the games. I think Zeddy scares easily.
Why did we bring up Zeddy?
I think he just scares easily.
Where did Zeddy come from?
I just thought of him. He just popped in my head.
All right. Zeddy, if you are a fan of the games, Let us know.
I think he's a little bit of a scaredy cat.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. People surprise you. That's all I'll say. People surprise.
And he's full of surprises.
So let's see how that works out. All right, the next trailer I want to discuss is probably one of the more anticipated things for me that's coming on Netflix, and I'm talking about Sandman. It's a tremendous book. If you haven't read the book, you should. I only read it recently. So many people had told me about it. I remember asking people about it, and they were like, "Yeah, read it. It's fantastic." So, and it's pretty. The trailer's pretty faithful to the book, at least from what I've seen. So. I loved everything I saw. It's very high. It's very well made. Like you said, it's not like just like Resident Evil. This doesn't look like it's cheaply made. It looks like they invested a lot of money, which is good because the story is very rich, and you want to have that kind of money behind it. But I really enjoyed it, and this did move the needle for me. I was waiting to see what we were going to get from this, and now I'm really invested. So, what about you, Pete?
For me, I never read the book, so I don't really have any connection to it. Looked cool, looks a little creepy, looked very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to watch this just because of time. I really don't. It's just, I have no connection to anything Sandman. So like, I know a lot of people are really hyped for it. If it's like groundbreaking and really gets into moving people around and expectations and emotions and stuff, I will have to find a way to check it out. But as of right now, I'm just not interested.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But did you think it was a well-made trailer?
Yeah, no, it looked great. Really good stuff. It's like it's kind of like Game of Thrones. I'm not into it.
Yeah, that's another one that show that's coming. I can't wait for that either.
So
all right, so let's finish with a little teaser we got. Well, no, there's two actually. They were both teasers, and they're both kind of in the same area. I guess I don't want to say genre, but I guess they are. They're both kind of based off of sitcoms. One was The Munsters, Rob Zombie's The Munsters. That was a nice, silly little thing that they put out for that. I thought. I'm not sure what he's going for with it, but they looked very much like the show. Everyone in this trailer looked very much like the show.
I thought Grandpa Munster looked a little weird.
Okay.
For my taste. But it seemed fine. I'm interested. I don't think what he's doing as of right now is anything egregious.
Right.
I know sometimes Rob Zombie can kind of make a really weird, hard left turn. So we'll see if that happens here. But some of Rob Zombie stuff I really like. Some of it I don't. So we'll see what happens. He's kind of an iffy director, but
yes.
I think this is a property that's right up his alley. I wonder how he's going to do with humor. Because the monsters are very funny.
Yes, it was. I
just don't associate Rob Zombie with humor.
I don't either. That's a very fair point. And that was when I heard he was doing it. That was kind of my question. I was like, what is he going?
Like so whole monster freaky stuff, Frankenstein, universe. Like knew that was going to be aces. Like I was like, I know this guy can do this.
Right.
I was like, is he going to be able to make me laugh?
And I love how they kept the theme. They're not changing the theme.
Oh, that was brilliant.
So that's great. So that's their...
this isn't like Winnie the Pooh where they're totally changing up everything about it. Like this, it seems like they know what the Munsters is and what they want it to be. And not like that Pooh stuff that doesn't know what it is and what it wants to be. But like that's a take on Winnie the Pooh. This doesn't really look like a take.
No, it looks pretty faithful right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But
I wonder what Eddie looks like.
I know.
And what was the niece's name? Was her name?
I forget.
Was it Marilyn?
That sounds right.
Right? Was her name Marilyn Munster? Because she kind of looked like Monroe. Like they kind of played up the angle. Like she's so beautiful.
I think you're correct.
That would I guess that would be Margot Robbie. Like, did we just right? Like that has to be Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't know. Like who else? Who's like? I'm like, who's the most beautiful blonde in Hollywood? Oh, it's Margot Robbie. That's who you would cast in that role. So I don't know, or somebody unknown, up and coming, whatever. Just a beautiful girl.
Yeah, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
The other one is the other sitcom based on monsters, and that's The Addams Family. And we got a little teaser of Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the girl looks like Wednesday. Like there's no.
Yeah, she's the girl from Scream. I forget her first name. Last name's Ortega.
Yes, Jenna Ortega.
I thought she was great in Scream, especially her wheelchair scene. I thought that was brilliant. I'm excited to see what she's going to bring to this role. She looks like we've never had a bad Wednesday Addams, to be perfectly honest. Christina Ricci gave her full endorsement. She said she looks wonderful as Wednesday, and I agree. I'm interested to see what the rest of the family looks like. You know, I haven't checked out the animated movies yet. I know Shu is all negative about them, but like okay, whatever, Rick. But I haven't seen the new animated stuff. But you know, it's cool to see the Addams family make a comeback.
Yeah, I agree. Like that was one of the shows I watched both of them as a kid. I remember growing up. Mm-hmm. They're before my time, but I watched the reruns. So
not much before.
Yeah, much for those two. Yeah,
really,
they're before my time. But I always liked them. They were always they're just goofy and silly and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see. And the movies were a little bit more serious, even though they were goofy and silly too. Mm-hmm. They always had a little kind of like a serious angle to them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this show goes. But from the teaser, just from her, I'm very, very intrigued. And
to be honest, like I'm really excited for stuff like Wednesday, Monsters, Resident Evil, Prey, because it's like there's a lot of capes and tights and stuff out there, and I kind of think we need to maybe just tone it down.
Yeah, I like
just for variety. Like I'm excited that the Monsters are coming back. I think that's a cool idea.
I do like, I like that we're getting, at least on television, we're kind of getting different things. Because in film, it definitely does seem so heavily superhero based right now. But I've seen a lot of good movies this year too that aren't in the industry, in the genre at all, in the comic book movie genre at all. So, it's out there if you want to see it. But I do like that on the TV side, they're giving us many different options. Mm. The other thing is, this is a Tim Burton vehicle. Addams Family is a Tim Burton thing, and he hasn't done anything in a while, so it's going to be nice to see something he's doing back in front of our eyes to kind of
he's been making headlines.
Yes, he has been making headlines. Let's just talk about it. Let's throw that out there. So he was obviously talking about the Batman Returns. It's been 30 years, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Happy anniversary, 30 year. I believe it came out, if I'm not mistaken, is it the 6th? Batman and Robin came out, I think, a week before. I'm trying to remember when Batman Returns came out, but it'll be 30 years within the next 2 weeks on the day.
Yeah. So, and at the time, the movie was received pretty well. But I think for Batman fans, it probably wasn't.
I think
if we had Twitter back then and social media, I think this would have been a very highly controversial film for Batman fans, because it is now. But
imagine Batman on film then. imagine Bill back then.
I know, right?
Speaking of which, I conned him, and this is a total con job on my part. We're going to do a social hour, me and him, on Batman Returns for its 30th anniversary.
Wow.
I can't wait.
That should be fun.
It'll be fun because I love the movie. He hates the movie. Like, you know, we never really get more out of Bill other than Batman Returns sucks. You know, like, so to get his real, like, hardcore opinion probably in a 30-minute episode will be really fun, if you ask me. And I think everyone's been waiting for it, to be honest with you. So that's going to be happening soon.
Yeah, it would be interesting to get more in depth on why he feels the way he feels.
Exactly. Like, I want to pick his brain.
That I think would be fun. But Tim Burton obviously loved it. It's his movie. He's very fond of his own film, and it's a very, like we say this many times, it's a very much a Tim Burton movie, right? Like Batman Returns. Batman was kind of hints of Tim Burton, but not totally. This one was go to town, and he did. It's very much his film, and he kind of took a shot at the next film.
Well, this isn't the first time either.
That's true, yes. But he kind of took a shot at what he said with the Batnipples. When they put nipples on costume, he said, okay, go F yourself. Like, that was his comment. And I kind of, when I read it, I just laughed. I said, "That's him. That's totally." That's
I don't think he's wrong. I don't
no.
think he's wrong.
Yes, I agree.
It is interesting though when you look at Batman Returns now. You compare it to Nolan. Compare it to what Reeves gave us. It's not really as dark as those movies. You know, like recently we just watched the Riddler cave in how many guys' heads with, you know, carpet tools and headrests. So, you know, it's gotten pretty dark. I'll say Batman Returns, if anything, is probably more sexual innuendoed than it is dark. But I think it's just as sexual as Batman Forever. So, but I get that it, you know, I think the only real dark moments, if you ask me, are Selina's transformation from stuffed animals to the blender to getting bit by cats and then Oswald biting some guy's nose. But after that, I think it's pretty just bombastic, outlandish, ridiculous comic book stuff. I don't think it's really looking back at it, like it does get a bad rap, but I get what happened. I understand what happened, and let's not like kid ourselves. Financially, Returns is very successful. It was critically received very well.
It was.
It's not the best Batman story. And then let's be honest as well, Batman Forever was a box office smash and made a ton of money. It wasn't as critically well received, but it was enjoyable to some parts. And you could see why people, and we've been here before, right? Like recently, we've gone from the dark Batman to the more light Batman back. So it peaks at valleys. You know, it'll keep doing that. At some point after Reeves, we're going to go light and no one's going to like it, or everyone's going to love it. There's going to be a different direction at some point, but just be prepared for it. It'll happen in his 80 years. He's gone through that transition many times, but it's interesting to hear Burton's words after so many times. If you listen to the great late John Schnepp's documentary, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, you'll get tidbits of that. You'll hear how unhappy Burton was with what Schumacher did to his Batman franchise, but also what he did to his Superman franchise, as Batman and Robin was the reason that Superman was a big part of the reason Superman Lives got the axe. So Tim has probably had some feelings for a long time, and you know he's had one fan documentary made, and now he's got I believe this was in Empire or Esquire.
It was Empire.
It was Empire. I knew it was a fancy magazine.
Yeah,
one of the bougie ones. Still a good outlet, but just a little bit more bougie. And it's just interesting to hear his words because, you know, someone who really enjoys Batman '89, as most of us do, and Batman Returns, one of the few, like, seems like, that love that movie. It's cool to hear his take, and, you know, I would love to see what he had in store for Batman 3 in an animated movie one day, if that would ever happen. I'm not about to start a hashtag campaign, but if it ever happened, I'd buy it.
Yeah, from what we've gotten about that story, I think it would be cool.
Because we've gotten Sam Hamm's kind of version of his Batman Returns.
So it'd be interesting to see how that would come, what that is, and in an animated format. I think there's some things you can do there that might lend well to that story. So, but yeah, he's unapologetic about Batman Returns, which I love, and I love when artists stand fully behind their work, no matter what or what people think about it. So
I'd love to talk to him about the duck.
Well, yeah, like
where did that come from? Like,
for Pete especially, Batman Returns has DeVito's penguin and the duck, and that's it. That's all you need to. If you know Pete, that's him.
That's it. I love penguins and ducks. I love birds.
That's him in a nutshell. So
bird.
There you go.
Yeah. Bird.
Yes. So, all right. So, just because it's set up in a nice little segue, we threw in the Tim Burton story because it's just really is a fantastic little article. So, if you guys haven't read it, check it out.
And there's more coming too. They haven't released a full article yet.
Yes, we'll be getting more from that.
So I'm sure there's going to be a couple more quotes coming from that.
So we have a couple of production announcements, I guess we'll call them. Harley Quinn season 3 will get a summer release on HBO Max, so we should be getting that shortly. If you love the show, which I have grown to love it thanks to Pete's insistence that I watch it,
If he only watched Batwoman.
This, it's coming, guys. It's coming soon. And I'm looking forward to this one for sure. The other one is MCU. In the MCU, Blade is going to begin filming next month. So this is the Mahershala Ali version, obviously, the one that'll be entered into the MCU, the one we got a teaser for at the end of Eternals. You heard his voice. So that's coming as well. So Pete, Harley Quinn season 3, are you
really
ready?
Pumped. Love it. I can't wait. I need more Kite Man in my life. I need more cracked out Jim Gordon. The show is absolutely insane. It's so good. I love what they did with Clayface and King Shark. It's cool seeing Dr. Psycho. Maybe we get to see Dr. Psycho in a Wonder Woman movie at some point, but that's also interesting. MCU Blade. I'm really excited. We'll see how this holds up to Wesley Snipes. But Ali is a tremendous actor. The guy's a powerhouse, so I think he's going to nail it. I wonder just how not dark, but just like how mature Marvel's going to be with this. Like, Blade kills vampires. Like, what are they going to do here? I'm very curious as to how Disney makes them play this.
Well, when we got the recent news also that they're not gonna tone down Deadpool, I'm kind of in a better space thinking about what's going to happen with these kinds of titles.
I want to see it though. Like, I still I don't trust Disney. We're talking about people who Photoshop cigarettes out of images of Walt Disney's hand. Like, give me a break. I know.
You're right. It's very much, it's crazy when you think about it, and a lot of their policies and just how clean they've become.
So I'll believe when I see it. I just will.
But I'm more optimistic because you can't do these titles half-assed.
And that goes to Prey too. Like, Prey that's owned by Disney now. Predator is owned by Disney. That's a 20th Century Fox acquisition. So, I have to admit, Prey looks a little bit more. I don't know if that's because that's directly on Hulu and not coming out on Blade's a film, right? I don't remember at this point.
Yep.
So Blade's a movie, Deadpool's a movie. These are big MCU tentpole films. That's a lot different than a streaming series on something that's not I don't know. They probably own Hulu to an extent, but it's not Disney Plus, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just look at Doctor Strange, what they just did with Doctor Strange.
I still haven't seen it, so it's not bad on me.
Which I'm really surprised because it's a Raimi movie, and
it's a timing thing. It's not because I don't want to see it. My schedule just sucks.
It's a very good. I really enjoyed it. It's gotten mixed reviews, but like I said, we couldn't
even record our podcast on time today.
That's true.
It was horrible lately.
That is a good point. I didn't think of that too. You just said it, so yeah. But Feige made a little comment about to Fandango. He did an interview with Fandango, and he says, "We have for years wanted to find a new way into Blade. We love that character. We love that world." And Mahershala wanted to come and meet with us. And when Mahershala wants to meet, you take the meeting. And I think he just had come off his second Academy Award, and we're talking very polite. And he was talking about what a fan he is. And then he just cut right to it and was like, Blade. And he said, yes. So it's coming, guys. The production's
actually. Can I walk into like the Warner Brothers lot and like, hey, I want to be Bibbo.
Do you have 2 Academy Awards?
I could look at me. I look like Bibbo with a beard. Are you kidding me? Like, there's nobody more perfectly cast than that. Like, come on.
That's a good point.
I could be Bibbo.
So
I want my streaming series.
We'll work on it.
After I finish my book on you.
Oh, geez. So we're talking about what, 4 or 5 years down the road?
I mean, I'm on volume 6 right now. It's a 10-volume series.
All right. Well, we're getting there. So we also got a confirmation from the MCU yesterday that the Thunderbolts movie will be coming.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's very cool.
Can we officially say that Marvel stole DC's idea with Suicide Squad? Can we finally say DC had done it first? Can we say that?
I guess we can. The stories are not exactly the same, but they're close. So, yeah, I mean, you could say that.
All right, I'm going to roll with it.
I think, yeah, the concepts are very similar, obviously, except that But the Thunderbolts, they're reformed supervillains, whereas in the Suicide Squad, they're still bad. I think that's the best way to keep them apart. But yeah, and it's also going to be directed by Jake Schreier and written by the guy who wrote Black Widow, Eric Pearson.
I love the Black Widow.
Yes, so all good news.
This is exciting, and the cast of characters they brought up Zemo. They brought up, who else did they bring up? Basically, Taskmaster. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Black Widow, Abomination, U.S. Agent, Deadpool.
I do think this would be cool too, as the Suicide Squad, to introduce characters just to kind of kill them off, like just to kind of expand the universe a little, like lesser known, like D-listers that no one's going to miss, or A-listers that you want to introduce for the first time. I think you could do something cool like this, villain-wise.
Right. I think also having Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who obviously Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays, and Florence Pugh's Black Widow, Yelena Belova now, obviously, because Natasha is no longer with us. Those are two very, very big, famous A-list actresses. So you have that kind of a pull. And if Deadpool is included, which is being rumored, then you also have Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this comes about. But yeah, this is something, again, I like that Marvel's going in this direction. And yes, Pete, we could definitely say that they took one from from DC in this with doing this storyline. So I'm looking forward to it.
Finally.
Yes, you can finally make, if that matters to you. It doesn't matter to me, but
as long as it's part of the plan matters.
Okay.
The plan matters.
All right, so we got a little bit of sad news too, and it's not, no one died, don't worry, it's not that kind of sad news.
Jesus.
But
sad news is death.
Yes, but unfortunately, because of money, Neve Campbell will not be reprising her role as Sidney Prescott in the next Scream. When I first heard this story, I wasn't sure what it was over, and then Neve just kind of cleared it up on her own and saying she wasn't offered what she thought the value that she brings to the franchise. Now, part of me is hoping that they could kind of figure this out and maybe she can return. This happens sometimes. She might be using the media as a way to negotiate. I don't know, but part of me also says it might be time, right? Like, it's hard to do Scream without her. Obviously she's the pivotal character in the franchise, but I feel like they did a really good job building up the new characters in 5. And if they want to move forward with a new cast, making their own new version and having new interest with the younger cast, then I think, this is a way to do it.
It's like Halloween without Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, they've done them.
Yeah, and they were horrible.
I know. That's not
Rob
a great.
Zombie's Halloween's the best one of the bunch.
So, I agree. It's very.
It's weird because I'm at this point, and I don't know if it's because I've been with Sidney basically since the first movie, but I'm just so invested in Sidney Prescott that I care about what happens with that character. Sam Loomis, I don't know if I care that much about Sam Loomis or Jenny Ortega's character that much. Like, they were great for that movie, but I don't know if I'm really buying into the whole Billy Loomis daughter thing. Like, I get it. It's Scream. I understand what you're doing. It's just not my favorite. And I mean, I wrote this on Twitter. Like, I just wanted more of the OGs in Scream 6. Like, I thought they actually relied heavily on them, and there wasn't that much attachment to the kids. Like, when Wesley died, everyone made a big deal about it, but I was like, is this because he's named after Wes Craven, or because you guys actually care about this character? Because we don't know anything about these kids. Like, the kids' deaths were almost kind of meaningless in the movie. It was cool that the Meeks boy lived. I was very happy about that. But, it was Meeks Martin. I forget what his first name is. But yeah, like, I think you need Neve Campbell. You got to pay Neve Campbell. You've got to. She's Sidney Prescott. She's worth every damn penny.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. I wonder if she is using this as kind of a way to negotiate for herself through the fans, which of course is stuff we've seen happen before. So this is not
like Jamie Kennedy's actually been on record and saying like he knows for a fact, he's like, and I'm sure this is typical Hollywood stuff. He's like, there's 2 scripts. There's one with Nev and there's one without Nev. He's like, I've been in that situation myself. I think he did doing a Tremors movie, which is like, obviously they're 2 different scales of movies, but they're like, they've got contingency plans. I'm sure they're going to move forward one way or another. I would prefer the Sidney Prescott story.
I mean, she wasn't in 5 that much. She really wasn't. But you knew she was coming, right? Like in the back of your mind.
She was. I mean, they definitely relied on Dewey a little bit more, and Gail came back. Like Sydney was the last one to come back, but apparently, like her role in 7 was huge. Like she was actually needed for 6. Like I don't know if there's a cart before the horse type deal anymore with them, but apparently, like according to people who have seen the script, basically actors, because they're all everyone's basically on Nev's side on this, so they're all coming against the studio. But apparently, like Sidney Prescott's role in 7 was huge. Like it's a main character role.
Well, if that's the case, then she should get them. I mean, if her work is definitely demanding it, not only because she basically, is the franchise, but if her work in the film was supposed to be that large, then they should.
But that's the problem. The problem is like you got to get through 6 to get to 7, and I think they're trying to probably cut a little corners because they know they're going to have to pay Nev a lot of money in 7 because of her role, just how big the role is. Like I think they pay her less because she's not there for a whole lot. Like I think they said it was like 4-day shooting for 6.
Right. I guess. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was definitely a disappointing news story when we heard it. Not something that I was anticipating, especially because I liked the 5th one so much. So I was looking forward to seeing how
5's good. I still think 4 is better, but 5's good.
But Gail will be back. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out.
And what's her name? Hayden Panettiere's coming back.
Yes, Hayden Panettiere's character is coming back. So
we'll see.
I'm wondering now if that was done because they already knew Nev wasn't coming back. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I don't know. There's been a lot of outcry for Hayden Panettiere to come back.
Yes, there has been. I mean, her character was pretty damn awesome in
Kirby was
the movie.
Cool.
So I definitely Kirby, that was her name.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely happy she's coming back. One thing I'm not happy about though is the never-ending Ezra Miller story that just keeps on going and going and getting weirder and weirder, and I don't even know what to say at this point. But that we haven't already said anyway. But I'm not even talking about with regards to the Flash and his future in the role. I don't know what's going to happen. It does seem like, though, that from what I know of how the movie goes, it's not important going forward. But that's neither here nor there. Now there's another story that came out that parents of an 18-year-old girl from North Dakota filed a lawsuit against him because he was grooming their daughter, making them psychologically manipulating her, all these other allegations that are being thrown his way. Now, normally I'm like, well, let's hear both sides, and I'm still very much that person. But knowing what we know of him and things we've learned about him, it would not shock me if this happens to be true. And if that's the case, then this is a much more serious allegation than any of the ones that we've gotten thus far, where he was kind of just acting out and going crazy in the moment. This is like a premeditated thing. And to me, that's much, much worse. So, Pete, what do we say at this point that we haven't already said? Like, I don't know what else.
Ezra Miller gives me agita. He does. Like, it's not even the latest. Like, the latest thing is, like, they can't even find him to serve him, so he's, like, hiding.
I know.
So it's like, can he just hide until after the Flash comes out?
I know.
At this point, like, I don't know. If I'm Warner Brothers, I'm like, dude, you know what? Don't come to the press tour. We're good. We got Keaton. Thanks for everything. We're going to recast the role after this movie. Like, I don't know. Like, if Warner Brothers cut ties with him, that's fine. I don't think you can reshoot the movie and not get some sort of Justice League like outcome. And I think I don't think we're far enough away to forget about Justice League for them to even consider reshooting a movie of that stature, especially with Ezra Miller and how he's basically playing like 3 roles in this film.
Yep. 3 roles.
I personally don't care. It doesn't matter to me. He's a strange person, right? We've known that from day one. He's always done weird things. But like these guys' personal lives, I don't care about. And like same thing goes for Amber Heard. Like, and I know she's a smaller part of that movie, but I'm like, I don't know. You filmed it before all this stuff. Let it come out, and then you just recast the role. Like, just recast it. It's not a big deal. Find some other actor. Find some other actress. No one's going to question it. I mean, I lived through Keaton to Kilmer. You know, I went through Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle. Like, no one cares.
You're right.
About the character on the screen. No one cares. Just who cares? Just I don't see what the problem is.
You're right.
It's just weird. Just cut your ties and move on.
He's been there's a segment of fans who really like his take, and there's a segment of fans who don't like it at all. So I don't know.
There's not even enough for me to judge.
Right.
To be honest, like it's all right. Like, but it's like I've got 2 different versions of the same movie, and he's a part of it, but like I don't know, like I need a full Flash movie in Central City to see what Barry Allen's all about. Like I don't know, like
right. That's the thing, though. Like, say the movie comes out and he's great, then what do you do?
I don't care what Warner Brothers does either way, to be honest.
Right.
But like, to me, the logical explanation is they cut ties because they're just like, you're a headache. You're in the news all the time. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Like, if this was any of us, I don't think we'd have a job.
Right. And like I said, this allegation is the worst to me because
if this was a normal person, they would have been fired after that Iceland video.
Yeah. This is and this is just it's premeditated. It's manipulation. It's taking advantage of a girl. Like all of that stuff.
I mean, I have no idea. This girl could be totally doing this under her own free will. I don't know. I don't know these people. Well,
she has come out and defended him and said that's exactly what's happening. But that's often the case. Like we could just go back to what happened with R. Kelly, and a lot of the women came out against him, but there were some who supported him. So like, there's that
stuff is like no interest to me. I don't pay attention to that. Not at all.
I normally didn't, but that story just got.
But because he beat you in American Idol, you had to find out.
Yeah, I wish I was as good as R. Kelly. But so yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. But I feel like we have to bring this news to people and talk about it. So we do.
Whatever Warner Brothers decides to do with Ezra Miller, I'm fine with. I personally don't care. As long as he doesn't, honestly, as long as he's not doing anything horrible like murder or like, I don't know, running a meth lab. Like, I don't really care. I mean, he's done some dumb things and he's definitely got to, pay the repercussions for his actions. But like, I just want to see the movie. I really don't care about his personal life. That goes for everyone.
There's there's problems there. That's the biggest thing. Obviously, there's problems.
But he's also got to own up to the fact that he's got problems and he's got to seek the help. Like if he thinks there's nothing wrong, nothing's going to get done. No one's going anywhere.
You're right.
And then anyone who knows the same strange behavior happening. So, but like I just don't care. All I care about is the Flash movie. That's it. Is the movie coming out? If this guy ruins the movie, I'll be upset. But like, if I'm Warner Brothers, I'm like, release the movie, and then we just find somebody else to play him because he's just too much of a headache. That's what I would do. But if the movie's a hit and everyone's like, yeah, we love Ezra, I'm like, cool. All right, Flash 2, here we come. Like,
Yeah, but at that point, it's going to have to be addressed. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, everything's going to be addressed. At some point, he's got to be found. As of right now, he's evading the authorities. Like, none of this looks good for this guy.
No, it doesn't. None of it looks good.
You don't look good if you're hiding from the authorities. Like, I'm sorry.
Nope. It makes you look guilty. So
maybe Ezra Miller's gone forever. Maybe he's off on an island and just vanishes. I have no idea. He's got to have enough. I could see him. He got lost in the Speed Force. Well, dude, I could totally see him just like clearing out the bank account and like going somewhere and just living off the land. And he's got to have more. Like he could live in like Costa Rica forever.
Of course,
he's got to have. He's got to have enough money to do that.
Of course,
So
I don't know.
He'd go
It's a
to
sad
Panama
situation.
and live like a king.
It's a sad situation to me, on all fronts. This is just a very sad situation, and I hope it gets remedied. And in the best case, I hope everybody comes out of it better. Just because I root for people. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but I root for people. So I just want everything to turn out in the best possible way. So something that turned out well for Netflix and for me as a fan of this franchise was Masters of the Universe Revelation. And it was just
I thought Kevin Smith killed Masters of the Universe.
Oh no, those are the crazy fans. I'm not even going there. But we're getting, Netflix didn't seem to think so, because we are getting a sequel, basically. We're getting Masters of the Universe Revolution. So it was made at Netflix Geeked Week 2022, the announcement. Kevin Smith will once again be helming it. And this is a little topic about this is a little blurb about what it's going to be. So Master of the Universe Revolution is an all-new story that brings the focus to He-Man versus Skeletor like you've never seen them before. It's technology versus magic as He-Man and the heroic warriors face the forces of Skeletor and a deadly threat to the planet in Masters of the Universe Revolution, the next chapter in the battle for Eternia. I
don't know. This sounds pretty woke to me, Eric.
From that...
Sounds pretty woke to me. Oh, jeez.
Man, I don't know. There's another He-Man cartoon that's on Netflix as well. It's kind of like for a younger audience, in my opinion. But I really liked Revelations. So, we'll see how it goes. I understand people's comments and I get where they're coming from, but if you watch the whole thing, you kind of see that it's very fair and balanced and even when it comes to those kinds of claims. But again, I'm looking forward to it as a fan of He-Man. If you haven't watched the first one, Pete, you should. It's just very good. It's very well done. Mark Hamill.
I heard it's really woke. I heard Mark it's Hamill, so woke.
Mark Hamill does Skeletor's voice. Sarah Michelle Gellar is Teela.
Is that the female He-Man?
Teela's not a female He-Man. Teela is Teela.
Oh, I thought there was a female He-Man that got all the fanboys upset.
Well, that's who her character does, because it's a different spin on her than we've gotten in the past. So her character,
that's what drove them crazy.
Yes, because she has a much larger role in this, and she turned, even though the story is the same of what she's always been, this kind of focus a little bit more on her, and they couldn't handle that. So,
I was like, why is Joker 2 a musical? This is stupid. I'm not watching it. Like, oh god.
So that's where we are with that. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. We'll get to Joker 2 in a minute, but another animated announcement was made for Netflix, and then we'll be getting a Ghostbusters animated series.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah. So it does include Jason Reitman, who obviously did Ghostbusters Afterlife. So that's pretty cool. If it's connected, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, if it's going to be connected to the actual story of Afterlife, or we'll see how that goes. But what do you think, Pete? Are you something you'd be down for?
Ghostbusters, I would definitely check out. I'm interested to see what they do, where it takes place. It's interesting. I'm very interested. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I could always use more Ghostbusters content that has nothing to do with whatever that movie in 2016 was. So I'm excited. I'm interested, and I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, so definitely that's some fun news. I remember the old cartoon that was on when I was a kid, Ghostbusters.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Egon had the best hair.
So
I don't know how they thought of that haircut.
I think that kind of a franchise also works very well in animation. So let's see how that happens. But I'm looking forward to that as well. I would definitely check that out. In more animated news, and kind of hip hop too, a little hip hop slant. 2 rappers from the Wu-Tang Clan are contributing to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge soundtrack. As a fan of the Wu-Tang Clan, as I am, the song "We Ain't Came to Lose" features both Raekwon the Chef and Ghostface Killah. So for me, I haven't listened to the track yet. I know it's out there. I'm going to have to take a quick listen. But yeah, this is cool. So I'm very, very into it. What about you?
this is something that the world needs. It just is. Wu-Tang loves comic books. You know, they're big comic book fans. They love this stuff. I mean, Meth was in Luke Cage. Various members have come up with songs named after various characters. So they're big like fanboys of this stuff. So, and you know, Ninja Turtles has a connection with hip hop and Vanilla Ice and just being popular and being in the pop culture zeitgeist. So, you know, it's inevitable that, you know, and they even did, who was it? Wiz Khalifa. He did one for the Michael Bay Transformers Turtles world.
There was a song called Shell Shocker.
Yeah, I forget.
I remember.
I wasn't sure if it was Wiz Khalifa or not.
I don't remember who it was, but yes.
Yeah, not Mia Khalifa, Wiz Khalifa. So it just seems like it was inevitable, my friend. But you know, to have Wu-Tang do this is really cool. I can't wait. I hope there's a music video. I'm excited. Like, bring it on.
Yeah, this should be fun. They even give a rundown of what the song's actually about or what their verses are about. So that's kind of fun. I'd rather you guys read it yourself, because if you know these rappers and what they rap about normally, it's a very different take.
Interesting.
It's a very different vibe with this song, which obviously is.
Don't forget, Method Man came up with an entire song dedicated to the Riddler for Batman.
Yes, he
Forever.
did. He did.
Called the Riddler. So he is no. He's no slouch when it comes to making his rounds around the comic book superhero, you know, world.
And I'm wrong. This is a video game. It's not a show. It's a video game. So there's put that out there as well.
Fair enough.
Yes.
That means that's even better, actually.
Yeah. It's cool that they have an entire soundtrack for it. I'm kind of digging that idea.
I bought soundtracks to games before. So. Madden always had a good soundtrack in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah. So we will see how that goes. So this is this is a show that Pete and I both enjoyed watching, and
Batwoman.
No, not Batwoman, because I said both of us and I don't. But it was very groundbreaking for its time, and I know Pete famously has talked about binging it when HBO Max came out. I'm talking about Sex and the City. If you watched the follow-up show and Just Like That, which just finished its first season, everyone knows that the character of Samantha was not on it. And there was a little bit of news that came out that she will be on the season 2, but it's going to be in the same format that she was in season 1. If you watch the show, which is via text message. So I don't know the whole story. If you ever looked into it behind what happened and why she's not there is just kind of crazy. But yeah, Samantha will be there in this kind of format again, where it should just be available via text messages. Pete, did you watch And Just Like That?
I have not, actually. It's the one. I'm so backlogged on my TV shows that it's one that it's backtracked. But a lot of people didn't seem to like it either.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was very, very. How do I put this? They really went there with a lot of the stories, and that show has always been ambitious with certain things, but this one was very, very much.
Sorry to just actually kind of sidebar you here, but getting back to Ezra Miller, 3 hours ago on Instagram, he posted a picture. "You can't touch me. I'm in another universe."
Great.
He's got a bunch of cryptic photos in his story about headaches, people, and him. How he's shielding from negativity and ill intent. Message from another dimension. Remember how nice I was when I should have said, "Who the F do you think you're talking to?" Yeah, Ezra's kind of gone off the deep end, so now he can't be found, and he's
on another universe. There we go.
Putting things out on social media for satellites to track him. So Ezra's going to be a story as at the time of this recording. Post. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have had Grant Gustin be the movie Flash.
Well, it's too late now.
It's too late now. What are you going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch the movie when it comes out.
So am I. That's the bottom line. Is that
that's it, baby.
So
that's it, baby.
You know what else it's getting too late for? Father's Day gifts.
And what should we get our fantastic fathers?
Well, it's just around the corner. And of course, Manscaped is always here to ensure all the father figures out there are looking like daddy material this June. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, which includes their signature Lawnmower 4.0, is the perfect bundle to tackle any and all old man hair from head to toe. And let me tell you, as I get older, there's old man hair from head to toe that you just...
And he's old. He's old.
Just, you never expected there to be hair, but that's... So this right here is no dad joke. Treat him and yourself and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. Trust me, his dad bod will thank you. So yeah, my dad famously, he passed, but when my dad was like, he had very like bushy like eyebrows, and which I'm kind of starting to get now, which I hate.
He could have used the weed whacker.
He definitely could have used, yes,
he could have used the weed whacker
for that kind of stuff. So I know for certain, plenty of guys out there have the problem. I'm starting to have it, and so guys, yeah, make sure check out the Performance Package 4.0. Pete and I do have this one, so we could talk to it and everything that comes with it. We've mentioned many times all the great products. The scent of all the products is the same.
I love it.
So it's just
most
really
comfortable boxers ever.
Yeah, the boxers, and now they have a new pair with a jewel pouch, which kind of keeps everything in its own place. So that's awesome as well, because as we know, especially in the summer months, that situation can get a little sticky, and I'm not being, facetious saying that. It really can get a little sticky. So, you have these products keep everything kind of in its own place. So Father's Day now is what? It's June 14th we're recording, so it's this coming Sunday. So by the time it airs,
looks like you guys are getting overnight shipping.
Yes. You guys will have a little bit of time to get 20% off and free shipping with code Gotham at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code Gotham. Shake what your mama gave you? Nah, shake what your daddy gave you.
Yeah, buddy.
There you go. All right. So speaking of, I don't know, this is not even a good segue. Shaking what your mama gave you, I guess. We got news about Lady Gaga recently with regards to Joker 2.
Mm-hmm.
So this literally just came out yesterday. Lady Gaga is in early talks to join Joaquin Phoenix in Todd Phillips's Joker 2, but it is going to be a musical, as Pete kind of teased a little bit before. So Pete, let's just start with that part of it. I'm a big fan of musicals. I know you are not really.
I wouldn't say that. I don't mind them.
Okay, so what is your take? What is your feeling on Joker 2 being a musical, number one?
Well, first of all, I didn't think you needed to make Joker 2 at all.
Right.
But when you bring in Lady Gaga, when you tell me it's a musical, you really I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Like, I'm interested. I'm just interested. I'm curious. I want to see what it's like. So, I'm hooked. Like, that's it. I'm ready for the sequel. Let's see what you do.
Do you think it's going to be a real-time musical, or maybe something in the Joker's mind?
I think it's got to be something going on in his head, kind of like the first movie. I think there's going to be that kind of like play on reality, Shutter Island style, Joker style, obviously. So, I just wait and see what it is, what the twist is, right?
Right. And you famously tweeted at us or made a comment about that having a Harley Quinn and Joker movie without a Batman would be kind of weird.
I do think it's almost kind of a waste to have actors the caliber of Joaquin and Gaga as Joker and Harley and not have them in a movie with Batman. I feel like that would be something special. You've arguably got the greatest actor to ever be in this role, and he'll never face off against Batman. That's a little weird to me, but this is part of Warner Brothers' plan. They making a sequel to a very successful movie, and it's not connected to anything. And this is kind of like their black label, and they're going forward with it.
Now, do you think it's possible we could get a Batman since if the story takes place in his mind?
He's like 11 years old. I have no idea. It depends. If he wants to if you're going to create that sort of delusioned world in Arthur Fleck's head, maybe, possibly, I don't know. But, it's up for Todd Phillips to decide.
Right. Yeah, like I'm asking you because I know my thoughts. I wanted to get yours first. When I first heard this last night, I just sat for a minute. I'm like, I need to hear more. Like, I need to know more about what the actual story is going to include. But just on the surface, if you're bringing in someone like Lady Gaga, who's a fantastic songwriter, she's a very talented musician. Most people know her as a pop singer, but she's a classically trained Juilliard musician. So bringing her in to do the music, hopefully, for this is a no-brainer. And getting her to play someone like Harley Quinn, opposite of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, would be also fantastic. They'll probably stick to the story that she's his doctor. You have that there, obviously, and how that comes about.
I'm so interested to see the angles,
right?
Yeah.
That's the part of it that I'm very interested to see how they're going to go about, because I can play it out in my head many different ways of what I would do. I'm just not as talented as Todd Phillips.
Yeah, but, you're good.
But yeah, so
you're the champion of Long Island.
Yeah, that means nothing outside of Straight Outta Gotham. So
you're being hard on yourself.
But no, this is just a strange twist, but I'm happy that this is what they're doing, because I really didn't like you said, I really didn't need a sequel. It wasn't something I was looking for. I thought that movie was so well done. It could have just been there forever on its own. And if they're going to do it, do something that's different to get me intrigued again. And this is perfect.
I'm with you.
So yeah, so it's
I think cool. A lot of us were like, yeah, we don't need Joker 2, but like everyone's like, oh, this is so interesting.
Yeah, like that's the intrigue and the twist with adding the musical to it. Man, it's going to be interesting to see. And again, bringing someone
Phillips
like
has to be a fan of musicals, right? Like, there's no way this came up without him. At least, like, it's definitely like something he enjoys, right? Like, I don't think you can make a movie like this without at least enjoying musicals. Like, he's got to be at least a fan of the genre, right? Clearly,
of course. I don't think you can do a musical if you're not a fan of it. Like, that would be, even as it's just being a filmmaker, I would never do that, because then it's not going to be good. Mm-hmm. So I would assume he has to like musicals. Famously, the funniest, it was animated, but still the funniest, one of the best musical movies is South Park, right?
It's very true.
So, like, if you think of it along those kinds of lines, where I never would have expected that, but when I saw it,
like, Kyle's mom was sung everywhere. Everyone was singing that song.
Yeah. So, like, it's definitely something that when you're not expecting and then they throw it at you, it could be fantastic. There's also the flip side. It could completely flop. Cats, the musical, famously is a famous long-running Broadway show. The movie was terrible. Ton of A-list actors in it. And it just got panned, and it was so bad. So you never know when you do these kinds of things. And that's a musical that was a stage musical that was made into a movie musical. So that the transition was even less. So I don't know. We'll see. But
I feel like all anyone ever talked about when that Cats movie was about buttholes.
Yep.
It was all about the cat's butts.
And the CGI. Yep. All of it. I mean, you have it's hard for me to think when you have Jennifer Hudson singing in a movie with cats, and their title song, which is called Memory, and the movie flops just because she's so good. So, yeah, so we'll see. Musicals are always risky, I feel, when you take them from stage to screen, but we have so many ones that hit that it's, we'll see how this goes. But this one, I'm very, very intrigued. So we'll see what happens.
It's just, after the first movie, you're kind of like, because it doesn't have like a whole lot of rewatchability. I rewatched it, but it's not, because it's not really feel good. It's kind of sad.
It is.
So watching it puts you in a way. And so, like, they definitely got your attention. I appreciate the creative juices flowing with Phillips here.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like, didn't really want it, but now that they're doing this, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
I like the plan.
So, there we are with the plan.
It's a good plan. It's working. I'm interested. People are talking. It's a good plan.
Yeah, this does definitely a good plan.
I'm all for it. Sounds like a good plan.
Keep the plan.
You got any plans?
I don't right now.
Sucks.
But if I did, I'll share them. I'll make sure everyone knows.
In detail.
in detail. Every
I
step.
want to know the next 20 years of your life.
I do too. So I know what mistakes not to make. That would be perfect.
Yeah. What's that? I mean, 20 years. Imagine us doing this in 20 years.
Oh boy.
You think we got 20 years left in us?
If people still listen, I'll still do it. That's how I look at it.
So it's all up to you guys.
Exactly. If people still like hearing us, the topics might change a bit.
Well, I mean, you're also branching out. You also got Straight Outta Alderaan.
No, that's not the name of the show, but yes, I do.
That's what I'm calling it. I named it. It's Straight Outta Alderaan. That's the name of the show. I just named it.
You can't name the show.
Why? I told you to do it. I said, Eric, do this. Talk Star Wars on YouTube with somebody else with me. And you were like, okay. And you were like, all right. And that's it. Straight Outta Alderaan.
No, but see, you didn't name it.
I just did.
No.
It's not. It's Straight Outta Alderaan presented by SOG Tonight.
Nah. I don't like it. It's not a thing.
Sabalba's
I don't know.
Corner.
We'll see.
Sabalba's Corner.
But then I'd have to get in like character. You have to get into the
Can
character.
you dress up as Sabalba?
you can't do that show if you're not dressed in character.
In my opinion, Sabalba's the only good thing to ever come out of Star Wars, and everyone hates it. It's like everyone hates Phantom Menace. I love that stupid movie. It's beautiful. It's old-fashioned. It's old school. 2 hours movie. You're in, you're out. You had a good time.
People are much more accepting of Phantom Menace than they are Attack of the Clones. Like that's really
just
the one.
Attack of the Clones is nothing but Rick Shoe bullshit.
Well,
that's all it is. It's Rick Shoe bullshit.
Well, his defense of it is, in my opinion, is definitely bullshit.
I love Rick
because he goes places to defend that movie. I'm like, dude, just stop. It's not even worth.
Yeah, that's Rick and Joe show. Rick and Joe show.
All right, Pete. We're going to wrap this one. So tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1, the podcast you're listening to right now. That's Straight Outta Gotham, at straight_O_G. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Join our Facebook group. Follow our Facebook fan page. A lot of good, fun discourse there. Follow podcast number 2, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast. I co-host that with the only 2 people I like to argue with, Nico and Nicholas Caruso. Just a bunch of meatballs talking Spider-Man. Good stuff there. We do that about once a month. Follow at Team Yellow Oval. Back on the screen, back on the page. Very, very excited about that. Barry. Check out Batman on Film. I got reviews. I got interviews with Ushlin, Tower Strong. I got toy reviews, all that stuff. Batman on Film YouTube, Batman on Film proper, Batman on Film Twitter, Eric Holzman's diary. I'm all over the place. Take it away, champ.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I read your diary.
As you guys know, you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spelled Finale33. Also, check out my handle for the All Nicked Up podcast at all_nicked_up, where we discuss the New York Knicks. I put a lot of news out there, a lot of facts and information, especially with the draft upcoming and the Knicks having the 11th pick.
The voice of fandom.
It's definitely something you guys want to check out. We did our second show, which highlights the draft. It's been up recently, and we have a really good time doing it. Me and my 3 friends, Ty, John, and Craig. We all just have a really good time doing it, and we hope to bring you guys that information and commiserate with you about the team that we love to hate and hate to love. It's really the best way to describe it.
That's a wonderful tag.
As Pete mentioned, of course, check out SOG on Facebook. We have our group. We have our page. All the information, all the topics that we discuss can be found there, as well as on our Twitter handle. Check out my work on BatmanOnFilm.com, where I review Titans, and I recently reviewed Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So you guys check out those reviews there. I have interviews in print and in video format with Rebecca Romaine and Jerry O'Connell.
Did you get her phone number?
Great people. I did not. It would have been kind of weird with her husband standing right next to her.
I guess that's why she didn't ask. That makes sense.
But
I mean, she's sitting there. She's like, "Wow, this is a champion of Long Island."
Wasn't Jerry O'Connell awesome though? Every time I think about that event, just how awesome he was.
He had a great Superman suit.
Yeah, he did. He was just an awesome guy. definitely fits the image I had of him in my head. It was very, very awesome. So yeah, check all of that stuff over on Batman.
I wonder what he thinks of Nev Campbell. He was in Scream.
He was in Scream 2 with her. So
yeah,
it'd be an interesting question to ask. I'd love to be able to interview him again. I feel like he's one of the guys. I follow him on Twitter. I feel like if I reached out and said, "Hey, I'd love to interview," he'd be like, "Sure, let's do it." So I think it'd be
do it. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
I think you should do it.
Try and make that happen. That would work. I guess got to think of a reason why.
Check his upcoming animation schedule. See if there's a Superman movie coming.
I should see if he has something coming up. All right, guys, that's it for this one. So for Peter Vera, I'm Eric Holzman. You are listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we will see you next time.
Booyah!